Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the weekly steel chair for your Crown Jewel review. Now, in the description, it does say me and Ailey. Um, she's currently a bit late. She's on a bus. Fucking unlucky fucker is stuck on a bus, so she'll be about 25 minutes late. So feel free to wind her up when she appears for being late. So at the moment, you're stuck with me. Although once Ailey gets here, just due to my current emotional, mental, and physical state, I won't be leading tonight's show. This channel is everything to me. You guys are absolutely brilliant that support us. Thank you to the 214 subscribers that we've got. But if you're not in the best mental or emotional state, even if you're a content creator and you owe it to the audience, you owe it to your community for being amongst it and trying to set a good example and a good standard for the channel and everyone else. If you're not in the best state, even if you can do the show, don't host. So I'm not hosting tonight. I'm going to be the backup this time. But how is everybody? How are we all doing? Tonight, as you can tell, we are talking Crown Jewel. We're going to be reviewing the weekly television as well. And quite frankly, we're just going to hope that our sanity remains throughout. So, quite frankly, if you haven't got popcorn or good food, get some now before Ailey shows, because trust me, Ailey's going to be worse than I am. Not mentally, but actual show level. Because you think I hate this show. Ailey fucking hated Crown Jewel. I'm telling you in advance. And Catherine, loyal to a T. My apologies. Loyal to a T. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing very well over there. Commiserations for your presidential election based on the circumstances. I think both of them are shit, but I don't know whoever you preferred, but awkward as fuck right now. Oh, trust me, I wasn't. Just the way this was going to be, it was never going to be a good show. You heard us in the preview show. Like, I gave solemn promise to be kind to this show. It went out the door in the first 35 seconds, let's be real. I'm going to give an honest take now before Ailey appears tonight. Ailey will be expected around 8:30, so another 20 minutes. We are going to review match by match. We are going to go through the TV. We are going to go through this week's TV as well. Because I was in such a bad state last night, I haven't watched Dynamite, so we're not going to discuss AEW tonight. In advance, just letting everybody know, but we will be on the next show. The next show we'll discuss AEW. Tonight it's purely Crown Jewel and the follow up and what should happen going forward. And also debunking some issues. Raw, some major issues. NXT, major issues. And not less likely, more than likely, SmackDown will have big issues to discuss. But we're going to try and be fair. Well, I'm going to try and be anyway. I can't promise much, but I'm that fair that I'm wearing my all-in hoodie from last year because I'm all in for this. I'm all in for tonight's action. So we're going to make the most of it. So before Ailey comes in, I'm just going to give my as you would say in America, you've got your preliminary thoughts. Well, I've got my pre-match thoughts, or my pre, or as we call it, what's the worst Marvel movie I've ever seen? My Captain Marvel thoughts, because that's what this was. This was like watching Captain Marvel. Utter crap. So there was missed booking spots. I'm going to come to one when we start the show properly. The opening match had a perfect a perfect moment for booking, and it failed to capture the trick. Now, in terms of the predictions, though, I'm pretty sure I lost, but I lost because I was trying to find moments where predictability could be overruled and we could get some booking. So, as an example, like shout out to my guys at another channel. Catherine, you can clip this for them and send it to them if you wish. I'm happily okay with that. My guys at Covalent TV reviewed this show at the weekend, and shout out to those guys. I missed the show last night, but I'll watch it after this. I'll watch last night's show after this podcast. We were talking about the the match itself, the opening match, and it just came randomly, and I mentioned it in the chat. And ironically, it led to such a great discussion because it led to perhaps what could have made this match better. Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it more appealing, more interesting to the fan base, but also more respectful. So I suggested in the chat that that even if it was the right result, even if it was the right result, it was the wrong way to get it. Now, am I surprised that Sami Zayn got involved? No. And I'm not going to get so far into it, so don't worry. I'm just going to cap it here, just from certain moments where it's really important. Am I surprised he got involved? No. Should he have? Absolutely not. Should Jey Uso have super kicked Roman Reigns and walked out? Yes. That right there was your perfect booking moment because he is still determining whether he can trust his family. So, quite frankly, if you're still contemplating trust and you're not sure, you need to see how they react by giving a little bit of dish out. And I like that they went. I like the idea that I had when I dropped it, saying, "Well, shouldn't Jason not have super kicked him and just left?" And then we see how united they really are, and if they really are going to accept it is equal now. Like this was just a warning shot that if you try to screw me about, I will kick you. And Mr. Starks, because he's a genuinely good man, the front man of the channel, the Alex hype man of the channel, because Werner hates Alex the hype man, and I'll never know why. So scary thought. He ran with it, and it led to great creative. And it's quite funny that nobody at WWE thought of this. You can still have the fucking War Games match, but it should be built on untrusted waters. Too bad they've not got a fucking brain between them. And exactly, Catherine. They don't. They absolutely don't. And this show reflected it because there were so many things wrong with this match, this card, this event, this atmosphere. Now, the title of the show, the very end does say Crown Jewel Review, but the very beginning of it says from Crown to Frown, from hype to Yikes. Now, why? Well, for one, it's in Saudi Arabia. They've paid big money for this to happen. They've got that big experience center, which cost millions to make. And for what? To blindside your fan base and collectively ruin it even further? To double down to the point that you're trying to not expose the problems that people have got with it in general? Or the fact that you're in an environment where no one is just going to be able to enjoy themselves. It's not in the sense of abject or telling people how to live, or we should dictate the manners of a country to then, because they've got a wrestling show, we should critique it based on the location. Yes and no. We should book on location because health is a factor. It's not bloody cold over there. In terms of not critiquing based on other forms, yes. If you book it based on company work standard and you base it on company financials, you book it on stature of name, then you have to have it in high regard to criticize. But if you're paid big money just to take the piss, then you should be hosting a wrestling show. Now, this was the 12th event in Saudi. The 12th event. So I'm going to bring the thumbnail back up for tonight's show to prove a point. And I'm just going to, before we do that, I'm just going to drop the emoticon from the top corner because I want you all just to read the banner just for a moment. And that's the task that we have tonight. Are we going to determine tonight whether that was the final nail in the coffin for Saudi shows? Should the bloodline end? Can we find pros and cons for this? I can already tell you the answer to that. Was it a crowning moment or was it a frowning moment? And then just obliterate what was possible. I already have my opinions. There's elements to it that need to be there. Now, Catherine, for the first question, said no. No to the final nail in the coffin. And why is that? I'd like to get your opinion. For me, it is. Unfortunately, it's not going to be because money unfortunately talks, and WWE are in bed with this lot because they don't care. Quite frankly, and I say this with all due respect, quite frankly, what has this Saudi crowd ever done? Every single crowd in Saudi has been shit. like bog standard, boring, flat, unintelligent for chanting, unemotive for enjoyment at any circumstance. Like it's if you replaced Saudi Arabia with if you replace Saudi Arabia with a graveyard, you would probably have a better reaction. Just plain and simple. If you replaced Saudi Arabia with a graveyard, you would have a better atmosphere. Make that of what you will. They will unfortunately continue to pay money. WWE are in bed with a slot. TKO are in bed with a slot. When they shouldn't be. Because it's leading to so many issues. It's leading to people being questioned on their political beliefs. It's being reflected on people's personal lives. You've got people on Monday Night Raw speaking the language, but when they finish a sentence, they're being concerned in terms of well, it's not exactly whitewashing, it's the opposite. There was something that Corey Graves said about Sami Zayn on Raw, the exact words. I can't remember what it was, but there was something he said about Sami Zayn, and it's spot on because it's a reflection of people in certain nations where they act a certain way, and it's wrong, and it's purely sympathetic, and it's not like it's actual like it's cheap, like it's so damn cheap. And it lets WWE off the hook creatively because the fans know Saudis determine who they want on the show. Storytelling for this show can take a break, and it's just like throw great matches on. Great matches. I'm just looking forward to Ailey coming in and roasting this show. Because I can tell you for now, if I had to rate every single match between 0 and 10, I'm not joking, every single match gets a 0 to a between a 0 and a 2 at best. Because that's how bad it was. And before everyone goes, oh, you're just biased because you're so negative. No, I'm always honest. Doesn't matter what company it is. I'm always honest. If I think AEW does something shit, I'll call it out. If I think TNA do something shit, I'll call it out. Which I did do quite recently. Actually, I've done several times. New Japan, I called them out for their idiotic principles on some things that really annoy me. Bookers need to be questioned. This whole week, so far, Triple H has proven why I think he's not that great a booker. Now he's got his fans will go, but Oh, but are you going to say the same about Tony Khan? Yes. He's shown at times that he can be a really awful booker. And then there's times where he actually can get it right. Now, I think ever since ever since he got rid of certain individuals, he's been able to be a bit more expressive behind the scenes. I think even though I didn't think much of the NXT show at the 2300 Arena because again, this is no disrespect to WWE, but they just don't learn. WWE could never replicate what ECW was. They didn't understand. They got it so wrong last night. Because I watched the highlights. ECW was about the unknown, testing the waters, going so far to do something that the crowds always enjoyed. And it wasn't about the legends most of the time. It was about the unknown talent that can just appear out of nowhere and shock you. It wasn't about Rhino. It wasn't about Bubba, the fucking gonk. And it's not about Nunzio, who we share a birthday. Like, genuinely, they don't get it right. Now, Shawn Michaels is proven out of the two bookers, he is better than Levesque. In my opinion, Paul Hickenbottom is better than Paul Levesque. Well, Sean Hickenbottom, so the only reason I call him Paul is because he acts like his best bud. But Sean Hickenbottom is a better booker than Paul Levesque. But even he has his moments where he's really bad. Now, if you want some entertainment for shocking booking, and I mean really shocking booking, coming up very soon, Eric Bischoff has gained the rights to a one-off show for MLW. It's not 1996 to 1998 anymore. Eric Bischoff is going to book that thing like shit on a stick. Unreal shit on a stick. Yeah, that was it. Something like that. No, they could not because they're shocking. Oh, it's so bad. And Ibill's a big WWE fan. Just shows how honest my man is. What's up, Nippin? But don't just take my word for it. My co-host will be here very shortly. Trust me, she's gonna really lay into this show. I wonder if she'll still show her bias to a certain person. I won't. Make that what you will. Roman getting pinned was his moment. Oh, if Lesnar had shown up, that would have been very, very, very interesting. For me, this show was just overpaid waste of space, waste of time, waste of energy, missing key moments that would have excited the crowd. Like, I can name you off the top of my head, maybe 15 separate concepts or decisions that could have been made, or spots that could have happened at Crown Jewel that would have made this show exciting. I can name you 15 minimum. Crown Jewel, the showstopper at botches. Absolutely, there was a lot. Because even when you look at some of these results, it's just really bad. And also, I'd like to say as well that I was again right about something. I was right about Kevin Owens. Of course, I was going to be right about Kevin Owens, wasn't I? Or does everyone need a reminder of what I said? Or shall we wait till we get to that? Let it out. Let it rip. Oh, temptation is there. But so is the question of, can everyone please share this stream? Can everyone please like, share, and subscribe? Eilidh should be here very, very shortly. I say that, but she's on a bus. So, who knows? She did say ETA 8:30. ETA. Who says ETA in 2024? I'm only kidding. Everybody does, because ETA is important. Estimated time of arrival. Or ETA, specifically since she's here, ETA, Eilidh talks a lot, but that also works. Oh, I think I pissed her off.
What a line to come in on, you know?
It's a good one.
Here I am, straight off a bus. The bus that was late. And I come into ETA. Eilidh talks a lot. Unbelievable.
I think that's good. I think that's very, very
I mean,
good.
it's somewhat clever, but at the same time,
Even Gengar approves.
yeah, well, feck you at the same time.
Nah,
and
you're all right.
feck this show, what it was, the Crown Jewel.
Told you, everybody. See, if there's one thing I don't do on this show, I don't lie.
Yeah, this was God. So yeah, I'm here till 10 o'clock. So you got me for a while.
Excellent. Muy excellent. That'll
And
take
yeah,
my mental health in a better shape. You're leading, by the way.
Yeah, we're gonna rip it to bits. Just
I'm
completely.
just proving a point. Like, I'm just gonna use my exact words. Hold on. Let's see if I can get it. 2 seconds. Turn off Bluetooth. Wait for it. No, that's the theme song. Although, once Eilidh gets here, just due to my current emotional, mental, and physical state, I won't be leading tonight's show. This channel is that's mental. I'm not getting into that shit. But aye. So again, I'm like I've said at the very start, I'm not in the best place for the show, guys. It's not right for me to lead. So
That's all right.
after
That's all
this
right.
is
Look,
this is the worst. This is the
aim
worst
for
week
10
of this is
o'clock.
the
We'll
worst
see
week
how
of
we're
me.
getting on. I'm sure we can. Sure, we can get there. Sure, we'll get enough fun out of it. So, yeah, let's begin. Because we can always talk about other stuff after, but we may as well begin by going through match by match. I think this is a match by match breakdown type deal because
Mm-hmm.
There was something wrong with just about every single match.
Yeah, there was. And I've already debunked one possible way that the first match could have been saved, but I'd like to see what you think about it.
Well, the first match could have been saved by not happening, but we knew the first match was going to suck. Okay, so I suppose the thing about Roman and the Usos versus the new bloodline, the Timu
See-
bloodline, as we've taken to calling them, the thing about that is
we know you're trolling.
yeah, well, the thing about that,
that's-
and you know,
that's
you're
something I'd never
acknowledging him,
expected.
but did anything happen in this match?
No, it was dreadful.
It was
This match
there was
should
a
have been
lot of
better.
staring. There was a lot of
Mhm.
standing there, soaking up the moment. There was a
Yep.
lot of milking,
Yep.
but nothing happened. Like
Mhm.
they had a match that could have taken place on SmackDown.
If anyone, for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, and still nothing happened. Now, before I get into how the match finished, on the if anyone liked any of the matches, yeah, it was boring and
check up with
slow.
Dr.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go into like specific critique here of a guy that I haven't seen anything in and everyone else seems to. Why can Jacob Fatu not sell? Why is he incapable of it?
It did make him look like that, to be fair.
He didn't sell. He got super kicked off the apron and didn't sell it. Then took another and didn't sell it. Got dived on, didn't sell it, and took a third super kick and was still getting back up.
This is where I need to bring up my comment that I made not long after his debut, and I'm going to say it again. He has been asked to do this, so I'm actually wondering why he has consistently been made to do this. You know? And Catherine is right. It's not in his character. It is not in his character, but even to a degree, there's some elements where he can sell, and there's some moments where, frankly, he should need to sell. Like, I don't mind if he doesn't sell a punch. Like, if it's like a if it's a barrage of, as I'm gonna say the way I would describe it. If it's a barrage of pussy punches, which is what Juso throws, if it's a barrage of pussy punches, I wouldn't sell them either. If it's a super kick, I would probably just, just like knock back and then just lean forward. Just a way like you think he's gonna sell, then he's gonna bounce it back. And he's like, well, stuff you. But if it's anything similar, like again, like a DDT, or if it is like an RKO, or even if it's like a diving move, I would sell that. Because that's at least paying a little bit of respect to the move against it, but it's also showing a little bit of respect to himself as a character, saying, well, you know what, I can be hurt, but watch the return you're going to get.
Yeah.
You're going to get a receipt.
And I always bring up the difference between registering and selling. He doesn't have to sell like he's being shot every time. He could at least register moves. He could at least show that stuff is hitting him. And he doesn't do it.
He should watch. He should look at his matches, even though he's heavier than him. The best seller still in wrestling at the moment is still Nick Nemeth.
Okay, yeah.
For a reason. Like, it's not about he does do a little bit, it's a little bit overkill, but when you see him actually doing it to an extent to the match and the situation, you see the impact it gives. You see the positive reaction you're going to get. If you'd done this would have done millions of much more better things for him. The ultimate side of it, though, he wasn't the worst performer in this match. Could he have been the most disappointing? Perhaps.
He was the most frustrating performer in this match because he had a chance to really prove something. All right. And he had a chance to really show.
Appreciate it.
He had a chance to really do this square off with Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Really make it something. As I say, they're milking. This is the only confrontation we really want to see. We don't even care when it's Roman and Solo. Like, we don't. We care more about when it's Roman and Jacob, and they didn't even give us anything to go off with that.
Yeah, good point.
Like
that is true, Catherine. In terms of that, he's signed and he's lost all chance of just any form of different direction. Like he's stuck in this verse now. He is stuck in this Island Boy Attack of the Mohawk invasions. Like that's what he's in now. He can't get away from this.
it's
It's redundant.
And the other thing is they don't read the room that this needs to go away. But I think the main problem is they can't make this story go away because they don't have anything else for Roman to do. It's so transparent that they gave the team of Bloodline the win here because they need a reason for why the War Games would happen, where Roman's probably going to get his win back. But even then, you've not actually fixed. I mean, that would help.
Says it all.
Yeah, even just give him like the US title or something. Just give him something that's like a proving ground. But the problem is, it wouldn't be much of a proving ground because he would just no sell. And again, like I get he's being told to do it, but it's still crap creative that reflects badly on him. I can't judge a guy based on what I've not seen. I can only judge a guy based on what I've seen. And what I've seen of Jacob Fatu is he's a no-selling, nothing original, nothing unique. He hits a pretty good splash, but I watched Neville do that for a while. There is nothing about him where I go, oh, I need to, like put everything down and watch this guy. And I get that there were probably matches on the indies that I could have checked out for that, but I don't really do that for anyone. Like I watch WWE through the lens of what WWE present to me, the same way that I watch AEW through the lens of what AEW present to me. So if AEW show me a clown with his hands in his pockets, I'm only going to see a clown with his hands in his pockets. I'm not going to see this insane independent wrestler who Orange Cassidy might have been in a previous life. I don't know.
All he had was just a theme song. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, but there's so many things like that where I can only know what I know of the wrestler. I'm not gonna.
I wouldn't know because I don't care. But funny comment, Jose.
I wondered where I wondered where you were going with it. I was like, maybe don't talk about that.
Don't worry. No, my thing is if that's the aim, then cool. I just realised that it's November and I just get through a month like it's a month.
Fair. But yeah, just it's not. This isn't good, and it's not only not good, but it's not even intriguingly bad. Like
they missed a trick as well. Like they missed a massive trick. And I don't know if you were watching it whilst you were on the bus or not, but I said as well before Sammy the hypocrite got involved, because he is a hypocrite, ironically. This match would have been a whole lot better if he hadn't got involved and Jey Uso just super kicked Roman.
Because it actually had three.
It stands testament to the whole can he trust him? Like it's all about equality now. Like you don't tell me what to do. We are a team. Well, if you are meant to be a team, then why is he still ordering you about? Why is he getting angry every time you don't tag him in? You're not. You're trying to be fair to the inclusivity of your team, and he's not doing it. Well, in that case, I would have super kicked him and then walked away, because then we'll see how he reacts.
Jay tagged Jimmy in, Roman's.
Thanks, Jose. I appreciate that.
Roman's selling of that, yeah. But Roman's selling of when Jimmy tagged Jay in was really quite good, because that face just kind of dropped. And he knew he couldn't do anything.
What did you make of that as well, by the way?
Yeah, I was getting there. Don't worry, I was getting there. So I wanted to give it the one bit of praise, because the one moment that I liked in it was when Jimmy tagged Jay instead of Roman, and Roman just had to, or Jay tagged Jimmy instead of Roman, and Roman just had to stand there.
Yeah, and all we
And
got was
Roman's
classic
face just kind of
Uso.
dropped, not to like rage or anything, but just confusion. He was like, "Why didn't you tag me?" You know, once again, like Roman's character is very consistent. Now on to the finish. So Solo wins with the spike. By the way, awful finisher. Because
It's not as cool as Umaga's, but even Umaga
look,
should have used that
Umaga's
high angle Samoan
finisher,
drop.
when he used it, it had like, oh wow, this match is over. And great finishers have that. They have that whole, oh, he just hit that and this match is over. The Solo's spike has none of that. Solo grabs the guy in a dead heat, hits it, and pins them. There's no like, the crowd don't get to go, because he just does it. And that's what this finish was. When he spiked, we just pinned him. You were like, that was it. So we get nothing, and then nothing happens.
I
And
admit
then Solo
this is,
wins.
even though he is a twat, Zilla Fatu is a twat for what he's done recently to GCW and all that by no showing events, which I find disgusting. That Superman spike finisher, to be fair, is really cool. Like, I'll grant him that it is cool. I just don't like talent.
It's a unique thing to do. But so anyway, after the match, they decided they were going to attack Jay,
which makes sense in a way.
They couldn't get their hands on Roman. Jimmy had jimmied, and
the
Jay was
line.
on his own in the ring. So they decide, okay, much like they did to Matt Riddle and Sheamus and possibly Edge and definitely Randy Orton and definitely Kevin Owens and definitely Roman Reigns, they're going to do it to Jey Uso. And it might actually be the second time Jey Uso got it. Jimmy Uso definitely got it.
Yeah.
They're going to put the chair on Jey Uso's head, around his neck, and give him the... They're going to give him a hip attack in the corner.
Yeah, classic running hip attack from the Samoans.
Yeah. And you're wondering, okay, who's going to run out and save Jay? Who's going to run out and save Jay? Solo's like halfway to doing it.
Yeah.
Solo's like basically, you would have to engage anti-momentum to stop yourself from running into the guy.
Oh, yeah.
But he stops in his tracks because music happens.
Yeah.
Which is the sort of shit I get on at AEW for. So I'm getting on at WWE for it as well. Why do you need music for a run-in? Not only that, this wasn't a run-in. Sami Zayn was not in a fucking hurry to do anything about it. Sami Zayn, his music plays, good 5 seconds. The crowd pop because they love Sami, especially over in Saudi Arabia. They really like Sami Zayn, and that's fair enough. The music plays. Remember, Jey Uso is like about 6 seconds of action away from losing his neck.
Yep.
Like, if Solo really wanted to, he could do it in about 5 or 6 seconds. That'd be it.
Massively. Oh, yeah. F that.
Sami Zayn takes a minute. From the time that his music starts playing, because I think they wanted the crowd to sing the song,
which is really stupid,
down to the ring. Now,
why
Solo
not run?
Sikoa, you stupid dick, you don't know if Sami Zayn's agreed with you yet. This is another case of the bad guy gloating instead of finishing the job.
Yeah,
because I would hate it if Solo Sikoa did that to Jey Uso, just because for as much as I don't like Jey Uso, he's at least not dull completely.
Yeah. Yeah,
Solo
like
Sikoa is dull.
Me personally, I would have went, well, he's come out, we don't know where he is. Okay, instead of like, okay, I've stopped in my tracks. Okay, hold on a minute. I don't know what's going on here. Right back to the turnbuckle, full momentum, and just run at the
There
bastard.
are also 4 of them.
Yeah, and it's just one.
So in the time that it would take the 3 of you to go out and deal with Sami Zayn, Solo's got so much time. Plus, I mean, Jacob Fatu would be one of the ones that was going out there, so it's not like Sammy could hit him with anything. He wouldn't sell it.
Exactly.
And then, oh my word. So Solo stops. His henchmen
Yes.
look gormlessly at Sammy. Sammy looks gormlessly back at them. Jey Uso, by the way, still has a chair around his neck, sitting in the corner. Like any sort of action at this point, it is done. And then Sammy turns on them. And when Sammy turns on them, guess what happens? Sammy starts getting beat down. But what's this? Roman and Jimmy are back up. Oh, and Jay takes the chair off his neck and he's fine. And now they can all beat down the heels. So now there was actually no point to the match because we've now already forgotten that the heels won. They got no heat out of it. They didn't get to actually injure any of the faces. Jey Uso's fine. He's back up and on offense. Where Solo was, as I say, 5 or 6 seconds away from putting Jey Uso on the shelf.
And lastly, as well, what you've also done is you've wasted people's time who are like, what's the point in War Games now? What's the point in bringing The Rock back for this? What's the point of having Jay uber boring cunt do all this crowd shit? What's the point in bringing Jim Uso back to reform this group? They've, even though I can't stand them, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, or Ratatouille as I call them, like they've just wasted themselves as well. At this point, they should just be a normal tag team competing for the tag titles. Like they've just been reduced to nothing, and they're meant to be built
competing
as
for those
the next
tag
one.
titles. It's a joke to think that they're even in the same league because Gorillas of Destiny, as they were, would absolutely be in that league. They were an elite tag team. But
Many
what's
moons
happened to
away.
Tangaloa?
He's been reduced to nothing. Like they've
utterly
ruined it.
useless. I track his downfall to that time that he was using that glove.
Oh, when he fucking done that fake punches on Okada.
Because he became a comedy character.
He went
Whereas
from being
if you think back to Gorillas of Destiny, sort of black and white Bullet Club era,
they were violent as fuck.
They were violent, they were serious, they were an act that you wanted to watch.
And if you think about it, and shout out to Carl Anderson, who's not going to be at WrestleMania because he's had surgery. He's unfortunately going to miss WrestleMania. Every time I watched the Guerrillas of Destiny link up with the Good Brothers, especially over in New Japan, it was gold. Like Carl Anderson and Tangaloa had even Tongaloa as well. They had great chemistry.
Do you think there's maybe something to be said for wrestlers and tag teams coming over from Japan and we expect too much of them, even if it wasn't necessarily the injury sort of like because with Nakamura,
he's expected to return soon as well.
it was because he'd had such a long career. With Okada, it's because he's plagued with injury. Do Gorillas of Destiny have either of those excuses?
No. Finn Balor also has the same kind of excuse. He has injuries, but also he's been different.
Finn Balor's had good moments.
AJ Styles has now got the injuries, and he was very rarely injured.
Yeah, but like this is what I mean. They get a good run for a while. The problem is, like, when you bring someone over from Japan, you got to make sure that they can deliver for you now. You know, at very least in the short term, you got to make sure they can deliver for you. From making Kevin Owens like Tama Tonga is now a joke. Absolutely. Because this was the guy, and the problem, once again,
a lot of people took it watered down.
It was just Solo and Tama.
Yeah.
You could get on board with that. Because Tama can go a lot better than Tangaloa can.
Oh, massively.
And it could have just been Solo and Tama and Roman and Jimmy, and you keep your main event Jey Uso to do whatever the heck he does. And then when this all ends, you've got to find a home for 4 Samoans, not 8 of them.
Yep. And also as well, as we've said, we're still expecting The Rock to return, which is going to be during Mania season because Netflix are going to get Rock, Roman, all that. They're like Netflix are pushing for it heavy, and Netflix are paying them $5 billion a year. You're not going to say no to your biggest advocate.
I don't think it's $5 billion a year, is it? I thought it was $5 billion over 10 years.
Sorry, over 10 years. Sorry, which is 10%. Which is 10%
so 500
of their
million
revenue.
It's still enough.
Still over their revenue stream. That's for that amount of money. Regardless, you should still be expecting a lot to give them, so they'll still get what they want. Jey Uso offers nothing in pro wrestling, and I'm sorry, Jey Uso fans, but once you realize
he doesn't offer nothing, he's bafflingly over.
Undeservedly.
Yeah, but what they've done that thing where, obviously, I've heard my Lord and Savior Jim Cornette talk about it, where if Territory was going to steal a house, they would just put a mask on a giant and call him the Monster.
They did that to some people, to be fair.
Yeah. And the monster isn't over in itself. It's just the idea of the monster. Because the monster has no personality. They've kind of done that with Jey Uso. It's weird. Like, they just went, you say yeet now. And it's worked. I mean, this crowd were wild for it. And I don't get it.
I wish
and his matches keep sucking.
Yeah. Like, he's one of the worst in ring and on their roster, if not the worst. Like,
To me, the more that Jey Uso remains popular, the more that I see through Stone Cold Steve Austin.
In terms of the CT doesn't exist.
No. More in terms of like Stone Cold was just his catchphrases, really. Like what I've seen of Stone Cold, it was just
in his latter, see pre-SummerSlam '97, you're absolutely spot on. If it wasn't for that unfortunate spike pile driver that went wrong,
yeah,
you would see them because he at that point could do it. He was a technical brawler as well. Like, he could properly wrestle. Then the brawling stuff happened.
But like the same way that Jey Uso just yeeted, Stone Cold just Steve Weisered and watted, and the crowd loved it. The crowd loved yeet.
The 2001 What chants were fucking disgusting. I hate the What chant.
Exactly, but that's yeet now.
Yeah, chant as well from a certain champion who shouldn't have retained his title as well. There's so many things wrong with this show. And I'm not going to reiterate what I said about Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson. I know I went too. I know I wasn't harsh enough. I know I wasn't harsh enough.
This match got 12 minutes and
it was too long.
Oh, God.
Can I make a very, very kind observation about this match?
Go on then.
Bianca Jackson needs it. Well, I'm calling her Bianca Jackson because hold on, I'll explain in a minute. In this match, Bianca Belair reminded me of Janet Jackson. Just that soulful way of just to enjoy a crowd, right? So I'm calling her Bianca Jackson for the remainder of this match review.
Okay.
But beside her was Jade Nobody. And fuck me, she botches like Cristiano Ronaldo scoring goals.
Rubbish, isn't she? She's like, you should be further on than this by now. And the problem is, like, for all the crap that you gave Lash Legend, for all the crap that we gave Lash Legend,
I'm still honest, she is crap.
She was better than Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
They did a back and forth, and I was like, okay, who are we pushing here? Because it should probably be Lash. Lash seems like she knows more of what she's doing. You know why Lash may seem like she knows more of what she's doing?
She probably asked for help.
It's because she came through NXT. It's because she's in NXT. She wasn't just rushed onto SmackDown.
Wasn't Jakara Jackson not NXT Level Up or whatever it's called?
Yeah, I think Lash was more standout though.
Or is it Level Down?
It is called Level Up, but who really cares about it? But no, I
It's
thought Lash
whack.
Legend was better than Jade Cargill.
I think this match also exposed one problem. This tag division is nothing without the Unholy Alliance and Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
This
Like,
tag division should not be.
yeah, Kairi Sane as well. Kairi Sane and Io Sky, I genuinely feel sorry for them. They have been wasted in this just unhelpful division. And Abu, does anyone miss Asuka? I miss Asuka because I'm sick of the person we're going to be reviewing in match 4. But like, plain and
You've been
simple.
sick of her from the moment she appeared.
No, to be fair, I didn't pay much attention. I didn't pay much attention to Liv Morgan until she came back and tried to be quote unquote a lesbian with what's her face? Miro Cuck. That's it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I after that I was just cringed. I was like, she can get the fuck.
See, here's the thing though. Like, you can read down the results. Obviously, we're gonna talk about them all.
For the record, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't watch this, Bianca Jackson, at Fresh Out of EastEnders, and Jade Nobody retained their tag titles, and then completely
Yeah.
ruined it the following night on. 2 nights on Raw, 2 nights later, which was a ridiculous segment, and we're going to smash that as well.
Yeah. Do
But
we not think though that
who did you? It was
this
the wrong
whole
result for
show?
me.
What is it?
For me, it was the wrong result. And I know, obviously, I got this wrong in the predictions. I'm not advocating that Chelsea and Piper should have what was the right result. I just wanted them to win. They were the
Somebody
best team in the
didn't get it
match.
wrong in predictions, though, didn't they?
Yeah, you didn't. I advocate
Because
Chelsea and
they
Piper
were
because it
just
makes more.
spinning their wheels.
I know. The
That,
reason I wanted Chelsea and Piper to win though was because they're a more coherent team, and you know they're
yeah,
not going to use these belts to build a feud. But the team that should have won this match was Kairi Sane and Io Sky. They're the only team that actually takes these tag titles seriously, and they get
yeah.
taken off them far too quickly. I feel sorry for those two. It's horrible behavior.
The whole
Horrible.
problem, though, is we can't ditch these belts because it will be seen as a personal attack on women.
Good
Whereas
point.
what should happen is these belts should be ripped away. But if you read down
Replace them
those
with single title.
results and everything that you can see,
Yes.
you notice a trend.
Baby faces.
No, but WWE were just spinning their wheels on this show. There was
And next.
nothing bold or adventurous or creative or daring or anything of the sort. Now, I get it. You don't want to feature Uncle Howdy on a Saudi
fine.
show. Uncle
Which is
Howdy,
okay.
not on Saudi, even though you've had The Fiend before. So is it really that different? I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to do a kidnapping angle, considering that's what they'd done. But you know,
Yeah.
but like that's creative. Or they didn't want to just put a match on there, have some fun with it. They didn't want to try and build anything off this show.
Not having
This
Braun Breaker on the show as
was
well was shocking.
phoned in. And I think
Yes.
that's what is really insulting because you can't give these shows and you can't keep giving these shows a must watch, must see vibe and give us nothing that we had to see. Because trust me,
Bingo.
if you didn't watch this show, it's full fat water. That's all you missed out on. Full fat organic water.
Oh,
There was
I've got a good
nothing.
example. I'll give you a better example. This match if you look at this match based on the money that WWE get from Saudi, this match is last year's Real Madrid, and what you actually got was the Madrid that got pumped off AC Milan last night. 2 nights ago. You expect an absolute hammering. You expect money where money gets your rewards, and you get an Mbappe stinker. That's what this show was. And I'll tell you another thing as well. You mentioned there about it was phoned in. There was nothing bold. There was nothing enjoyable. When was the last time Seth Rollins, in your opinion, got carried in a match? Because I'm saying this now, Bronson Reed carried him, like legitimately carried him.
So Seth Rollins, a really entertaining performer and a really entertaining wrestler for me. But I've said it before on the show, he has his match. His match is very similar. Whether you want to see a Seth Rollins match is not based on whether you want Seth Rollins in it or not. Seth Rollins is the guy that you have to build the match around. But the guy who builds the match is his opponent. Correct. Seth Rollins is there and he's going to do Seth Rollins things. I've said the same about AJ Styles in WWE, to be fair. So I don't want that to instantly be taken as a slight. But for instance, I wouldn't compare. So I would go back because there's a pattern with Seth Rollins. It's not so much you're asking me when's the last time, but I would go further. How many times have we seen Seth Rollins have a match built around him?
Every single match.
The bad news is Damian Priest and Finn Balor and Edge and Cody 3 times and Nakamura, Bronson Reed now.
You're not going to like this as well, but even when he was WWE champion against Dean Ambrose, now Jon Moxley, the first match he was carried by him, to be fair. Like, he really carried him.
Yeah, the problem is Seth Rollins has perfectly fine, like, transitional sort of move to move, and his strikes are fine and everything, and he sells absolutely fine. And like I've said, I like watching Seth Rollins matches.
Which is completely fine to say.
But his signature moves, he has spots that he has to hit in every match. Like the problem is when you compare that, and you'd be like, well, so many wrestlers have that. And it's like, I know, okay, but I'll compare it to Cody. And again, I'm a massive Cody mark, so allow me. Cody doesn't always hit his moves in the exact same way. So sometimes he catches someone into the Cody cutter. Other times, he will instigate it. He might hit it off the middle turnbuckle. He might hit it off the middle rope. He might just catch someone in it. He might catch someone diving onto him onto the outside, and he might catch them with the cutter out there. He might, although it didn't work, catch them out of a handspring, which didn't work the first time with Carmelo Hayes, and for some reason they reattempted it. They shouldn't have done that. Hated
same
that.
With
reattempt the move.
There's good examples because you can say the same about like everyone knows I'm a big you've already said you're a Cody mark. Well, everyone knows I'm an Okada mark. But Okada does not always hit his Rainmaker 7-star lariat the same way. There's times where he will just pick you up and just multiple knock you the hell out. Or if you go to hit him and miss, he will duck under, grab you, and just knock you out himself.
Yeah, he'll hit you if you build up a head of steam.
Exactly.
You know?
Same with
it's like the transitional offense.
Even the head and blade from Will Ospreay as well. He's got a variety of ways of hitting that as well.
Standing up, hit you in the front of the head, hit you in the back of the head, dive and hit you with it, which is the new one.
The sideway one on the temple is freaky.
Like, yeah, exactly. But like, there's variety there. I feel like the Seth Rollins moves don't really allow for it. And again, I imagine Seth Rollins could do that, but he's an established character at this point with an established moveset, and people know his spots. So they become very like, oh, he's going to do this now. And it's perfectly entertaining and it's perfectly fine. And when Seth Rollins G's up the crowd before he dives through the middle rope, I'm never like, Seth Rollins dive. Like, no, I'm fine with it. When Seth Rollins gets someone up onto the top turnbuckle because he's going to do that superplex Falcon Arrow thing.
Which is predictable, but exactly, it's a good spot.
You know, but that's the thing. All of Seth Rollins' offense, bar the curb stomp, is predictable.
Mm-hmm.
And the curb stomp did not need to be hit this many times.
Yeah. This is like an element. It would have been
better if he just hit him with it on the stairs and got back in the ring and pinned him.
Because it would have been maximum impact on someone like Bronson Reed.
Or thrown him back in the ring and then just hit it again and then pinned him. He did not have to do it off the
top turnbuckle. Or
yeah,
do it from the top
you didn't have to do it off the stairs, do it, then climb and do it. It didn't need 4. And you'd be like, oh, but that shows how strong Bronson Reed is. No, it doesn't. It shows that Bronson Reed's a bloody idiot because he stood there. What's Seth gonna do? Like his head, he stood there for over 5 seconds, just hunched over. His head's like this, and he's like, I wonder what Seth Rollins is gonna do to me next in this wrestling match.
Abel's cooking the curb stomp.
Yeah, fair.
I applaud that, Abel. You've always been a good guy. I applaud that. I tell you another thing as well, and like you're right about it. It's absolutely about like Seth Rollins and his match as well. But this isn't a match that Seth Rollins necessarily need to win. And I reiterate what I said in the preview. On the preview show, Seth Rollins hasn't been around for a while. Bronson Reed has been on TV. He's been doing amazing work with Braun Strowman. Whether like, and obviously it's Braun Strowman. He isn't what he used to be. But even so, Bronson Reed is showcasing why he is aiming to have people take him seriously. And you have him lose like this, like especially when he's been wrecking people left, right, and center. Like not just like that, but like he is tsunami splashing Braun Strowman through the roof of a car. He took out Seth Rollins with ease multiple times, and then he done the exact same. Funnily enough, on Raw, I put a tweet up after Raw, after the match ended. And my exact words were, Bronson Reed has exposed a major problem with Monday Night Raw. Now, I'm not saying Bronson Reed should be a world title contender by any means. But the way that he's actually showcasing himself, the way he's actually acting, the way he's actually been built around himself as a presence, as a big man, and he's actually showing his weight around, Bronson Reed has proven that pretty much every main title contender on Raw is actually quite weak, and they're not actually up to snuff. Seth Rollins has been really poor for quite some time. Dominic Mysterio should not be in a world title match contenders match at all. He shouldn't even be there. That's already a laughing stock. And Damian Priest, it was so bloody predictable. So like you've already like that match on Raw encapsulates why Bronson Reed should have beaten Seth Rollins. Because Bronson Reed's already done well on TV. He's then got this pay-per-view performance. He should have squashed Seth Rollins in 5 minutes, and then he should have won the Fatal 4-Way with ease. The fact that he crushed every single person and Dominic Mysterio still couldn't get a win proves how bad Raw was as well. Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking,
and they always wanted to do
shocking.
Priest Gunther too. So why did they make it out to be a like mystery?
Why not just exactly? Why not just have regardless, just have Priest say, "I want a rematch."
Priest already did that.
I know, and then Gunther was like, "Nah,
Priest already said, like, I'm gonna deal. I've dealt with the Judgment Day. You handle your business, and I'll become El Campeon again."
Good question, Abel. I haven't got a fucking clue. Like, and another thing as well, we need to rename him from Dirty Dom. We need to call him Slutty Dom.
Well,
because
it would work.
Because he seems to be getting through everybody at this point.
Yeah, it's a new one every week, but
yeah.
As I say, back on Seth, he has good matches, but they got to be built around the other guy, and this match was good. And to be honest, I feel like this match was one of two that I would say if you're gonna watch anything, watch this and watch the main event. Those are the two matches that I would say you will get.
Yes, indeed.
You will get an okay. That works. You will get an okay
works too.
experience of wrestling from this show if you only watch Seth versus Bronson Reed and Cody versus Gunther. You will get an okay show. It will not blow you away. But the rest of this was
Horror.
awful. Case in point, match 4. Liv Morgan defeats Nia Jax.
Which has wasted Nia's run as WWE Women's Champion as well.
Okay, so I suppose the first thing I want to ask is, why did Raquel care?
No idea.
Because Raquel's got a gripe with Rhea Ripley. I didn't realize that just meant that Raquel was also in Judgment Day now.
No, literally, she is Liv Morgan's personal inclusion to the faction, yeah.
It's why every time that someone joins this fucking faction, they bring someone with them, and it makes it worse.
You know what's ironic? How you hate Orange Cassidy. I'm actually going to make a very fair comparison here. I said fair. The Judgment Day should just be called the Gothic Best Friends. Because that's all they're doing. They're just including their best friends into this faction. It's dialed down, boring, losing it. It's lost its spark anyway. Finn Balor, fair play. You've celebrated 10 years in WWE as of yesterday when you debuted with Kenta in that tag match against the Ascension. Fair play, brother. Fair play. But apart from that, Dominic Mysterio is a nobody. He'll never usurp his dad. He'll never be as good as Eddie Guerrero. Carlito is washed. JD McDonough is still the size of a slab. Raquel Rodriguez is boring. She needs to stop flexing that back of hers because it has no redeeming quality anyway. Because the minute that Jordan Grace joins WWE permanently, the whole flex in the back thing will be Jordan Grace to wind up Raquel Rodriguez, and then she'll just squash her anyway.
Yeah,
and Liv Morgan is a short, blonde, dumb bitch.
And Raquel's, as I say, I was under the impression Raquel's only here because she hates Rhea.
But it's not.
So,
she's purely in the faction now. It's
when
ridiculous.
Raquel suddenly cared about Nia, I was like, oh, right, so we're doing another shitty finish.
Oh, they're building it, Abel. They are. I think they're building it for after the Rumble.
We've also already seen it on pay-per-view.
Yeah, quite a while ago. And also,
Rhea was heel.
Yeah, and she was champion.
Which would be back into 2022 then?
Yeah, but also right before Raquel got injured as well. Like she was still in the matches together. She was in the five-way match in Saudi, remember? Before Rhea got injured.
Yes.
Was that not? Was that this year? Or was that last year? I can't remember because it was so shit. Because it was Saudi.
Last year it would have to be because.
Oh, well, there you go.
Rhea would have lost her title by Saudi 1 this year.
Yeah, because last year, to be fair, Rhea technically tapped out, but they didn't want to give the title to Shayna, so they faked the result. Yeah.
But it's such a shame. And if you want to talk about spinning your wheels, Hunter, this was a disgusting finish to give people on a show that you were charging money for. This finish, again, plucked straight from Raw. There was nothing unique about the finish. Tiffany coming down doesn't make it unique, especially when you have someone else make Tiffany look horrible.
Great question.
Well, because she's in the Judgment Day, and that means that she's just got to pretend that she's
also
tiny.
This is true. This was caught on camera. She was in front of Liv Morgan running away. She was actually in front of the midget.
Well, Liv had the belts to protect her. Well, actually, the one belt. The other one's in Saudi. But she had her ring as well.
I don't like this ring thing, and it's not. I'm not a fan of it for one reason. This is just. It's ironic.
It's MJF.
Yeah. And I actually wonder, is she going to do the MJF finish with a diamond ring, with the NFL bigger than her body ring? Every time she has a match now, is she going to just use that ring if the Oblivion doesn't work? Because if so, you've got more reason to wind up fans, which is not like you shouldn't be in the first place. But this is actually really bad. Like AEW done this 5 years ago for a reason, and they've continued with it, and it fits a gimmick. This shouldn't
The
have been a ring; it
ring
should have been
in
something else.
AEW has at least been consistent. I've not always agreed with its use. I really don't agree with a storyline that it was pawned off. But
I thought that was funny, but I get your reasoning. Yeah,
it's it was just nonsense for nonsense sake. But anyway, at least the ring has been a consistent recurring thing. This ring exists for a reason because she won this match. But one, should she really get the ring? Because like, I get that it's the winner of the match is the winner of the match, but I was under the impression that this was a sporting contest, at least in its own bubble. So I was under the impression that there was going to be like no leniency from the referees. Because they'd be like, look, this is like a champion versus champion match, so we're not having any interference. We're not having any weapons, any run-ins. Sorry, Tiffany, you're not allowed to cash in.
Ironically, this should have been like AEW's Continental Classic rules.
Yeah, and instead it's 1-to-1. Instead, it was just sludgy porridge. It was a complete mess. It left a bad taste in the mouth, like sludgy porridge. It was just
beef curtains.
A horrible finish. Tiffany looks weak. Nia looks weak. Liv looks weak. Raquel looks weak. Rhea's not here, and Dominic looks weak.
It was just dumb, and you know what's even worse? I'm not a fan of his, right? Because I find these commentary quite tedious. But even Corey Graves was trying to come up with some random unique line to just try and make it tolerable. He couldn't even do that.
No.
Which says a lot. Abel, we very really disagree, brother, but I'm going to say I disagree with this. Just like what I said on the previous show, I do not want Bianca versus Jade anymore. And the reason is because of what Eilidh said during the tag match review. If Jade Cargill was better in the ring, and she's got no excuses now. She's got no excuses. She said she wanted to go to WWE for the platform because and to show herself on a bigger stage than what it was in terms of a legacy that's like a long-running company. That's fine. We all know for a fact Jade's in WWE for the bag. But even
why isn't she in NXT? Why has she never done NXT? Like she doesn't need to learn anything.
No idea. So now, and I think WWE fans, to a degree, should owe Bryan Danielson an apology. Not because of some of the stuff he does, but frankly, he at least tried to coach her on the road, and she's not even willing to go down and train. If she's not willing to go and train, you cannot no longer blame Bryan Danielson anymore for her not looking good. He at least tried.
He's not willing. At the same time, if she's not willing to train, why was the contract signed? Like at that point, I'd be like, look, part of your contract is you need to show up for training because we have big plans for you, but you've got to get better. Yes. So what it should have been is a developmental deal with view to a full-time contract. But it should have been a developmental deal based on merit. But basically, she should have been in the, what was it they call it? Independent.
Level up.
No.
WWE ID.
ID, yeah.
Give her an ID pass.
It should have been. She should have been in WWE ID. An independent wrestler who needs to meet standards to become a full-time wrestler.
She is really bad, though. I'll tell you another thing as well.
She's awful to watch. Like the entrance, the aura, the spectacle of her is fantastic. Right up until the bell rings. And the other thing is, right, she doesn't get singles matches. Now, you know why she doesn't get singles matches? Because she can't do singles matches. But they're going to lie to us and say, oh, the reason she's not having a singles match is because they're saving it. But no, we need to see some squash matches at least. We need to see what you can actually do. And then we need to see you work a program with an underneath heel so that we can see, can you actually wrestle? And then you build the Bianca Belair match. But that's exactly it, Daniel, because Bianca Belair is a fucking star, and we've forgotten about her for a year while she's tried to build this up. And Jade isn't trying and isn't it. She's got a really good visual profile, but as I said before, take Lash Legend and dye her hair.
Yeah. Well, less muscle tone,
Yeah,
perhaps.
but Lash Legend at least can work, seemingly. I mean, she
Yeah.
wasn't botching all that stuff.
Jade, the amount of
Oh,
botches that Jade
and
Cargill does is
speaking of
terrifying.
botches, I can't believe it. I almost let us move off of match 4. What about that Samoan drop into the roll up? You know, when Nia just
Oh,
hit the Samoan drop, it was supposed to be that Liv caught her in a roll up. But you see, you couple of feckin' idiots. Nia greatly outweighs you, Liv Morgan. So, what was the thinking there? Did you honestly think, Liv Morgan, that you had enough power to pull Nia Jax over in the Samoan drop and cover her? Because here's what they did: they hit the Samoan drop. She straight up hit the Samoan drop on Liv. Liv didn't sell it, was like flat, and then rocked a little forward and rolled Nia up for a 2 count.
it was so embarrassing.
It was awful. We're back to Liv Morgan being like the Ronda Rousey Liv Morgan.
And not only that, you've got people saying that she's the greatest of all time. People actually calling her a Grand Slam champion when she's not won everything, which is funny. Though there's people legitimately on Twitter saying that she's a Grand Slam champion. I burst out laughing saying, "What about NXT?"
Mm.
I was like, clearly not, pal. She's
Give
clearly
her
not.
time, she might, but we're back to this with Liv Morgan. We're back to messing up simple things. And the thing is, you're like, oh, messing up simple things. I'd like to see you do it. No, but I wouldn't have planned the spot because it
You're
didn't
smarter than that.
make any sense. If you want to do a near fall, pick a near fall that Liv could conceivably do.
Like a drop
One that
kick.
involved Nia's power.
Like Nia running at her in the turnbuckle, she misses because Liv manages to use her agility and her size and speed to get out the way. Nia fucking full speed like a freight train, bounces off the turnbuckle, all jiggles and falls down.
Yeah.
And then just do a top rope splash.
Or even, because it would rely on Nia's power.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Her fan club on social media called her a Grand Slam champ.
But the thing is, it would require Nia's power. You could easily do an O'Connor roll.
Yes, you can. And it's
Just
a good
1,
spot.
2, and out. There you go. It did not have to be this because it was like a crucifix. But she was never going to get the crucifix pin on her there because I think Nia is over 100 pounds heavier than Liv Morgan.
Nia's about, if you're not being too insensitive, I think Nia at one point might have been around 300. I think she's now maybe
I was going to guess
260,
she's like
270.
280.
I think she's about that. I would say you can tell she's lost a lot of weight. I think she's about 260 to 275.
You're not telling me Liv Morgan's 180 pounds.
She's like 110.
I was going to be nice and say 130, 140, but 110 is probably more accurate. There's no way that Liv Morgan was going to have enough power in her arms or her legs or her back to roll Nia up for that. And I know what they were going for, but it didn't work because the weight was imbalanced. And once again, Liv feckin' Morgan, because it couldn't just be that Simone drop was hit there and that's a 2 count for Nia. It had to be Simone drop, and Liv Morgan was like, oh, but wait, but the crucifix is the spot now. So she rocks forward. She actively no-sells the Simone drop, roll up, 2 count, and then sells it. It's like, so how did you do that then? How did you take a full Simone drop, no-sell it, get a 2 count, and then suddenly feel the effects of the Simone drop?
And that's the element that they're making these mistakes. And I get it. People watch wrestling for the camaraderie and the drama and the entertainment aside, besides good in-ring work and the enjoyment of a match and how people speak in certain ways and how they can get the crowd on their side. But yes, it's predetermined. Everyone knows this. But in certain elements, there's also a sense of realism. And in no way, shape, or form, in a realistic way, can someone who is like, what, 5'3", probably weighs as much as my right arm, there's no way that she physically could do even a crucifix on a heavy, powerful woman like Nia Jax. And
Yeah,
heavy by no disrespect, it's heavy because she's a bigger woman and she's proud to be that.
yeah.
It is just it defeats all logic. And
Yeah, and also, I mean,
uh,
just look at the time they gave this match. They knew it was going to be shit.
I don't know what more to say except please keep watching our stuff, Daniel. But I don't like if there's one thing I don't want to lie, I love watching women's wrestling when they actually get to work properly.
Yeah,
I like seeing I like to see the enjoyment, but I like to see the realism and great comparison because that's the only one size wise. Because I'll tell you one thing you don't see Io Sky, you don't see Kairi Sane made to work like that. They don't do stupid stuff on Bianca or Jade. They just out wrestle them.
I
But
get that. I think I would let Roxanne Perez away with it a bit more. One, because I like her and I'm biased, but two, she
I
is
like her
more
too.
technically gifted than Liv Morgan by a country mile.
True, but she
Like,
does try to do all some stupid stuff though on people so much bigger than her that doesn't work, which is her
yeah,
downfall. But she is good though.
yeah,
Work comment of the night.
yeah. That applies to everything. Anyway, that's kind of everything I've got to say about Liv and Nia because I mean it was horrible. Match. Now, hang on a minute. You may be thinking, "Oh, there's something missing from this." Yeah, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens never started. The match finished in a no contest. So,
I was
I
still
mean,
right about Kevin Owens.
okay. So the pro here, the pro is that
Kevin
I
Owens.
guess they kept the fire in the feud. Right.
And I would say that they spared Kevin Owens by a month, considering the fact that I said he's finished regardless of the result. He might have at
Mhm.
least a short lifespan extra time.
But what was wrong with this? Well,
It didn't even get going.
you can't sell pay per views on matches that don't go ahead. This is rotten booking. This is horrible. Again.
She's
So,
criticised our
not
Lord
only
and
is he
Savior. I've
booking
won the night.
finishes from Raw, not only is he booking matches from Raw,
Yep.
this was an angle from Raw.
And it was actually looking like it was going to be interesting.
And he thought it was enough to just have them go for the tables and then fight through the crowd. Like we
Which
didn't
did
watch
nothing.
the Vikings do it last year, or one of them. Fucking Ivar and Bronson Reed were doing that, or Eric. Which
Consistently.
one wasn't hurt? No,
No,
Ivar was the one that wasn't
Ivor.
hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, Eric was
So it was Ivar and Bronson Reed who just had a big old fight in the crowd one week, and we were like, "That's awesome." So then Randy Orton and
now
Kevin
they're
Owens do it on the back of
and
Blood Feud.
and it's not even fun.
Well, you'd think, oh, it's awesome, but it's not because these guys aren't as big, so it's not as impressive. And they didn't do anything that you would actually say, oh, that's like these two want to kill each other. Because what did they do? They fought in the crowd, they used basic weaponry, and then they went through something.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens didn't come off as deranged, which commentary kept wanting to tell me. Commentary kept going, Kevin Owens is insane. He's twisted. He's out of his mind. He's like, he used a table. That's not. And obviously, I don't advocate like use of like glass or barbed wire or anything, but a baseball bat, a lead pipe, a nightstick, you know, something. something that made it look like he actually wanted to cause him physical harm.
Mm-hmm.
Not just, Randy, we're going to take a bump through this table, you and I.
It's embarrassing. And this kind of summed up what I said on the previous show when I said, regardless of what happens with this match, it does nothing. It does nothing for Kevin Owens. It does nothing for Randy Broken Back Orton.
Yep.
Like, it's a waste. So a no contest. A no contest
Why
literally
book a
just
match
makes it
that
worse.
isn't going to happen?
Exactly. You've just wasted people's time.
Just keep it off the card then.
You could
Just
have
say
had
Kevin Owens is suspended due to his actions against Randy Orton.
you could have had Braun Breaker defend the IC title for 10, 15 minutes.
You could have had a promo.
You could have had Kevin Nash blow his quads.
Do you think they had to do this because the Miz had been kidnapped and they couldn't do another section with him and the actor?
I was thinking that actually. That's a good one. Possibly.
Because I mean, the Uncle Howdy stuff with CM Punk sort of yes, no on Raw. The Uncle Howdy stuff, some of the most interesting stuff they can do. I just don't think the Saudi crowd were going to go for it, which is weird because the Saudi crowd went for the Fiend.
Yeah.
Okay, they went for the Fiend to get beat by Goldberg, but they did go for him.
You see the worst thing about this? They honestly haven't got They haven't got a fucking clue.
No.
And this is another thing
They
as well.
wish they had a clue.
Yeah. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
And
it's more insulting here than with an AEW show because we know Hunter can do better. Yeah. Sometimes with Tony Khan, I'm a bit like, well, you know something, Tony, I've come to expect this of you. That's why Wrestle Dream was such a pleasant surprise. So I was like, Tony, you can book, kinda. Which is why I was convinced that Tony didn't do it. Jeff Jarrett took the book for that night or whatever. But Hunter can book. Robert Roode can book and can produce. Michael P.S. Hayes can book and produce.
They should take the reins off a certain human being.
Road Dogg can produce.
Yep.
And I'm worried now.
Kenny Dykstra as well has proven that he can produce to a degree.
But I'm worried now because Kevin Nash is coming back.
Twice has been mentioned this show in 35 seconds.
So Kevin Nash is going to come back, and then X-Pac's going to get more of a role. And you should only do something if you can actually do it, not just because your friend says you should probably do it.
It's ironic, isn't it?
And at any point, has Kevin Nash ever shown that he can do anything that makes money in the wrestling business? He's the lowest drawing WWF champion of all time, I think.
He claims he's not, but he is.
He has to be.
Don't worry, he is. Bob Backlund regained the title and then off Bret Hart at Survivor Series, and then lost it to Kevin Nash less than a week later, and he still drew a bigger crowd at MSG than Diesel did.
Yeah, but that's like we're getting to the point now, and again, it's a Saudi show, so I'm gonna we're gonna preserve overall judgment until Survivor Series, where I think they'll be back on it. I think, as I say, they phoned this one in, so I feel more like a teacher giving a disappointing parents' night report, basically, and saying they are capable of much more than this. But between the lackluster finishes and the fact that this match didn't even get started, yeah, absolutely. But Yeah, but between lackluster finishes and Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens not actually getting started, it's like, okay, who took the book on this night? Because this is
Great question.
nothing like we've come to expect.
It was. I actually wonder who did what, because I know I've said for numerous times I do not particularly like him as a booker, but this match kind of proved it. This whole show did. Like, there's times where he can be a whole lot better, but this show was an insult, and I don't care what company it is. If you insult people by making them watch this, you need to be thrown on a spike.
Well, that's the thing. Like, some people were saying, like, "Oh, I've not seen Crown Jewel yet," and I felt it was my obligation to say, "Don't worry, you didn't miss much."
I had people tell me,
Like, I tried.
on
There's only a couple of matches that you want to see. The rest
I
of
had
it,
people
trust me, I'm just saving you time, because if you look at what we've covered so far, the Bloodline thing could have happened on SmackDown.
or not at all.
Both the women's matches could have happened on Raw. The Randy Orton thing could have been an angle on SmackDown. And Seth versus Bronson Reed was a serviceable pay-per-view match with the wrong winner. That
Yeah,
I said was going to happen.
It should have been Bronson Reed, yeah.
But I told you, I said everything points to it making so much sense for Bronson Reed to win that Seth Rollins is going to win.
Yep, it was. It just showed that they either Rollins didn't want to do business, or they booked him to win because they weren't sure on Bronson. And I'm like, well, why would you have him absolutely smash the Raw roster?
Yeah, as I say, I think they were just spinning their wheels on this night. Case in point, once again, another prediction I got right just for saying that the title wouldn't change hands because they won't be this adventurous. Match 5, LA Knight defeated Andrade and Carmelo Hayes.
Yep, and the one who should have won it was the best performer in the match.
Yeah,
annoyingly.
This was awful. Like,
this was crap.
Not awful in terms of a match, but see, in terms of expectation versus reality, this is when you know you're watching a Saudi Arabian show, because wow, when you talk about phoning something in, you gave this 9 minutes. The champ retains. The champ retains kind of heatlessly or kind of poplessly. Like, yeah, but like, seriously, this match ends. LA Knight just hits BFT and wins. There's no like clever reversal of a finish. It's not like what I said they should have done, where Andrade and Carmelo could have fought each other to exhaustion and LA Knight could have stolen one.
Which would have been interesting as a babyface.
There's no interesting new development like Andrade winning the belt by pinning Carmelo Hayes and then LA Knight's cost himself the title.
Or Carmelo pins them both.
Or Carmelo did. Yeah, or Carmelo pins Andrade and LA Knight once again he loses his belt without losing it, which is comeuppance for getting involved in something that he shouldn't have been involved in.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing like that. This was just, this issue has played out now. LA Knight wins. Cue music.
Yeah.
And they tried to do creative stuff, and Andrade and Carmelo did some creative stuff, and LA Knight's good enough. He's massively over. But they didn't do anything that was like, wow. And we know that WWE can do wow triple threats. You know, just look at Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew.
Mm.
You know, like they can do brilliant triple threats. This was phoned in. Again, this was on standby. This was half-arsed. They did not care. And that's one thing, that is the thing that I find most insulting about Crown Jewel 2024. They did not care. This was a show that was put in their calendar a year ago because they made a deal with a bloodthirsty country that they want to do a show in every single year. They want to do 2 shows in every single year. It pays a lot of money. I'm not getting on at WWE. You know where the money is. Every organization's doing it. Every sport is doing it. It is what it is. You can't change the world. But you could at least try. And that's what WWE didn't do with Crown Jewel 2024. They didn't try. And that's the perfect setup for the main event, because I'm fucking insulted. And I'm more insulted not only as a Cody mark, which I'm proud to be. Proud Cody mark. Love him.
Mm-hmm.
Love him. He's so good.
Yeah.
I get that you don't want to give everything away, okay? But there seems to be a thing in WWE where they're not going to give us the full match of something until WrestleMania, or until the Royal Rumble, or until Survivor Series, or until SummerSlam, or sometimes until Money in the Bank if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Every other PLE, bar Hell in a Cell this year, because they gave us CM Punk, Bad Blood, even, because they gave us CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, and it played out, and it was perfect.
The way it was intended.
Yeah. Instead, what we get now with WWE is we're going to build you up to 1 of 5 shows every year, and until then, we're just kind of, we're going to kind of spin the wheels a little bit. We're just going to, if we do something interesting here that you like, then great, and if you don't, then fine, because we know that you're just watching to get to Survivor Series. From Survivor Series, you're only watching to get to Royal Rumble. From the Royal Rumble, well, WrestleMania's around the corner, and once you're hooked on WrestleMania, you're going to watch the Money in the Bank, and once you watch Money in the Bank, well, you may as well stick around. SummerSlam's coming. By the time you get to SummerSlam, you're only 3 months away from Survivor Series. Come on back.
Yep.
They only want us to watch 5 of these fucking shows. They don't care if you watch Backlash.
Maybe they should.
Yeah. They don't care if you watch Backlash. They don't care if you watch King and Queen of the Ring.
Anything in the UK.
They don't care if you watch Clash at the Castle. They don't care if you watch Bash at Berlin. They really don't actually care if you watch Elimination Chamber. They don't
give a shit if you watch anything before Survivor Series or after.
Because they won't throw a world title match with actual jeopardy on a show like this.
Because it means nothing to them.
The last shocking world title change. Was
Jinder Mahal beating Randy Orton.
Well, I was going to say Goldberg beating The Fiend.
I don't think that was a shock, personally, because it's just Goldberg. And they always seem to just give it to him.
I don't think people actually expected that to happen, though. I know that Goldberg had a chance, but I don't... I mean, it was certainly a shock for me. But, maybe I'm alone in that.
No, I think that's a good show. What about...
When you go to the lineage of the WWE title, you are going back to Jinder Mahal beating Randy Orton. But even if you think of, B-show pay-per-views where the world titles changed hands, without the Money in the Bank.
To be fair, it's not a harsh thing to say on him, but even Bray Wyatt winning the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
In 2017?
Yes, that was just before Jinder.
Yeah, so it's 2 in the same year.
Yeah, because Bray wins it at Elimination Chamber, and then Orton wins it at Mania in an awful match, and then Jinder beats him.
What was it? Was it Backlash or Battleground?
It was Backlash.
Yeah, because he held it for 3 months.
And then at Battleground, they did the Punjabi prison.
Which was awful, because they had to bring back the Great Khali.
It's always awful. And then Jinder beat Shinsuke Nakamura twice, and then lost to AJ.
All because of John Cena getting upset over a bloody suplex.
Yeah. But
fumbled that in the...
Yeah, AJ beating Jinder in Manchester was brilliant. Absolutely. But...
Oh, yeah, it was. Because I got my deserved moment.
It's just... Like...
Yep.
You could have... As I said... Yeah. As I said, it was full fat water, this show. Nothing happened. I used to only watch WWE pay-per-views. Never Raw and SmackDown could still figure. Yeah, well, I watch the highlight videos. I don't have a TV package. I watch the highlight videos and the pay-per-views, and I keep up with everything.
Mm.
And the problem is, these B-show pay-per-views are just making me not care. And for me to care about these, for me to be made to care about these, they've always had to throw some kind of silly B-show gimmick up.
I'm just keeping you on the solo stream just so you address this comment.
I saw it. It's I'm not dignifying it. So how's about that, Catherine?
She misses Brock Lesnar. She misses Brock Lesnar.
Tony Khan eats corn the long way. Anyway,
Fuck. Jesus Christ.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, so moving on. Yeah, no, staying on point. They've always had to add some kind of crap, like extra stipulation, so you actually watch the B-show pay-per-views. There's always had to be something, or there has to be a mid-card title match that you might see the title change hands in, or the women's title might change hands. But there's never, for a long time now, there hasn't actually been a point to watching the B-show pay-per-views, and it gets intensified and magnified when you do these Saudi shows. And I am fed up of them setting up matches to build matches down the road, which is what this main event was. And I felt insulted because even if you don't want to give away Cody versus Gunther on a Saudi show, one, it's a pay-per-view, so how can it count as giving it away? Two, it's the Saudi Arabian equivalent of WrestleMania, so how can it count as giving it away? Three, were there not over 60,000 fans in attendance?
Catherine, I am not putting that comment up. Jesus Christ. I just can't. I'll end up laughing too much. I'll lose control.
But
unreal comment. The last guy.
Yeah, but the Saudi, there were over 60,000. I can't remember if they said in attendance.
I don't know if they said in attendance. I don't know.
Anyway,
there's
probably over 50,000. Let me say over 50,000. I'll hedge my bets, right?
There was
so over 50,000. So how can it be giving the match away? There's a gate of over 50,000 people.
Yeah.
You've had these two face off twice in back-to-back Royal Rumble sort of finals, or not finals, but Royal Rumble like matches.
And 2 eliminations from Cody on Gunther.
Yeah, 2 eliminations from Cody, but at the same time, it's been like, you know, they've done a lot to make you want to see the first match between them. And then you do the first match between them, and it's And this should have been 50 minutes or 45 minutes. And I get you might not want to work that in the heat. Well, that's fine. How's about you put the 50 minutes of action into your 25-minute match? How's about you really, really go for it? And the problem is they didn't go for this. And I just felt insulted.
I got something in store for you, Abel. Don't you worry. I just won't tell you when.
Well, we're almost done, but yeah, I mean, what did you think? Am I overreacting here? Because I feel like we were robbed in this main event. Why didn't they just go for it?
I personally think they should have went no more than 30. I think 30 minutes is what you're looking for.
So it was 25.
It was less than that. It was 23.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, 23 minutes. And to be honest, I thought it was weak. Like Catherine saying, they both sandbagged, to be honest.
I was waiting for it to like reach a
I don't
next
even.
level, but it didn't even get to the previous level for me to want it to go to the next level. It was just kind of happening, and I was like,
I'm gonna
Cody's
say a
there and
laugh.
Gunther's there, and they're doing some okay stuff, but like, I wouldn't mind if this match ended because nothing's happening.
This was literally just Jay versus Jimmy at WrestleMania. It was
I wouldn't go
overhyped.
that far. Their stuff was hitting better.
Yeah, but what I mean is like it was just overhyped by the specific fans of both talents to the point that you're thinking this is going to be that you were thinking it was going to be something of worthy of interest, and that is true. Abel did miss this match on purpose, and he asked me who won the match, and I had to tell him while showing a picture of I think Cody kicked out the power bomb or something. But the don't Ailey's coming at you guys, and I'm not stopping her. I'm WWE champion for a reason. I let
No,
my
I'm saying
delegates do the
I feel
delegation.
called out by that thing you said about fans of both talents. I thought this match was gonna fucking.
Oh no, I'm meaning like the core hardcore psychopaths on Twitter and all that
No, but
saying that this
I
match
did
was.
say it, and this is where I need to apologize. I said that this was going to be like they were going to go for a 5-star match. I've already forgotten it. I remember
Yeah,
that they redid the Samoa Joe Rey Mysterio finish, which, by the
yeah,
way, fuck off. Like,
yeah.
like
Catherine,
having
you're
Gunther
not
beat
wrong,
that way is awful.
and Catherine is spot on. Even though I'm not a particular fan of Cody, I do agree with that sentiment. It had the chance to be match of the night.
Yeah,
It stunk.
100%. I mean,
It
especially
stunk the place out.
what was it
It's
competing with? A TV match for Seth Rollins and sorry, a serviceable PLE match between Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. That's all it
it's
had to be.
this is, and I'm going to open this up to the chat. And chat, be honest, whether you're a fan of his or not. And this is, and I'm going to do the exact same, and Ailey's going to do the same. We'll see if we have a similar answer or something different. Not just WWE, but also in the Indies. So that includes like his Ring of Honor run, his work in New Japan, another big promotion, and AEW. When was the like in terms of worst Cody matches? Where does this rank? Because I'm gonna say it for me. This is either second or third of his worst matches, right up there. Because for me, his worst match is the WrestleMania triple threat. Yeah, that was awful as well, to be fair.
With the flaming table and the golden shovel, and it was nonsense.
The match that got Cody kicked out of AEW, ironically.
Yeah.
Because that's when the fans turned on him.
Yeah.
That match was horrible, but I was thinking of like that was supposed to be pure wrestling, but ended up not being. In terms of like just a pure wrestling match, that triple threat with DiBiase Jr. and Orton was ridiculously dreadful. But Cody Andrade's horrifically rubbish.
Yeah.
This match, however, felt like you had a gun to your head every time, and you were like told this was like you're sitting there, you're in the crowd, somebody's got a sniper on you, and they're like, "Please enjoy this," and you're sitting there ready to shit your pants, and you're like, "I'm
And
trying,
they
I'm
did the
trying."
stare down and they did the long sell and they built the crowd up and we're going for this. And did you notice as well the commentary was doing
over the top
the
nonsense.
commentary was doing so much about this champion versus champion match. It's so epic and amazing, and it was nothing. Cole brought up during commentary with Cody brought up eliminating. Yeah. Michael Cole did well. Corey Graves did well. Commentary did well. The problem is commentary also had to do too much because these two didn't go for it. And as I say,
think as well they didn't care. I think they didn't care about the match specifically. Now, and obviously they'll never admit it because they don't want to be seen as hypocrites to the talent or hypocrites to their job. But if you make them openly, honestly answer this question, I would just say to their face, "Did you give a shit?" If they genuinely say
did
no,
you
then
care?
I'll believe them.
Yeah.
And I don't think they cared at all. I think if this had been a
And to be
WrestleMania, they would have
honest,
cared.
right, I think Gunther
Most of
doesn't.
all.
Gunther doesn't respect Cody enough to put him over. And I think that's why they did that finish. And I know it's easy to say that Cody wouldn't do the job. Look at who Cody's jobbed for in WWE. Look at what he's sold for. Like, I feel like Gunther phoned this in. And I know, massive Cody mark. I hate to blame the guy that isn't Cody. But this isn't the Cody Rhodes I know. Because Cody Rhodes has given his all to everything. Remember, Cody Rhodes had a good match for Dominic Mysterio.
But even that...
Cody Rhodes made Damian Priest look good.
True, but even to an extent, though, in greatest respect, I can see why you're saying that Gunther might have phoned this in. There's also a chance that Cody might have phoned this in as well when you look at both sides' performance, but we'll never know. One thing we do know, however...
Yeah, it's chicken or egg, isn't it? Like, did Cody stop caring because Gunther stopped caring? Did Gunther stop caring because Cody stopped caring? Did they agree not to care?
This match was like the equivalent of the dinosaurs getting made extinct by the asteroid.
Yeah.
Like, this was the final strike. Like, it was just purely awful to watch. And
you thought that this main event was at least going to cleanse your palate because you thought, oh God, this show has been fucking awful, but at least I've got Cody versus Gunther. And then they come out and they do a match that is not actually good. Like, that's the thing. I wouldn't go as far as to say it was a bad match. Fundamentally, as far as wrestling matches go, the basics and fundamentals were there.
Yeah,
it wasn't a good match. No, there was nothing exciting about it at all. And the commentary really, really, really tried to make it feel like something was happening.
This was like an 80s Hulk Hogan match, where it's like, you know, he isn't going to do what he done in New Japan, where he actually does work a match. He actually will work. This is soft, dialed down. This is dialed down rubbish.
And it's horrible to say it, and I will need to go after this comment, so I'm just going to make it. It's horrible to say this, but
so will I, to be
Catherine, you're gonna love this. This match got me thinking of Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson, because the main event of Wrestle Dream had me feeling things. Now, I hate Jon Moxley.
She does.
But he didn't phone this match in against Danielson. And Danielson clearly cared.
You can tell, and as a result, he came out and said, this is the one he wanted to win as well, I'm pretty sure. He actually came out and said he wanted Mox to pin him.
Yeah, and that's great. And I'm glad that he did that after the fact. There you go, Catherine. That's where I'm going. They built up Moxley and Danielson, and at very least it delivered. They built up Cody and Gunther, and it did not. It didn't deliver to such an extent that I now don't care if they do it again.
It's gone now.
Like, you have shat the bed, because you only get one first. Do you hate Jon Moxley because Reece can... No, I hate him because he's an outlaw mud show freak. I hate him.
To be fair, to be fair, all I said was they care about the elements of their work, and the ring is sacred. That's
which is ironic, because now Jon Moxley cares more than based off recent performances.
But that's all I said, is he cares.
Still, I don't know. I'm not for this white supremacy thing that he's doing. Anyway, I've ran a few minutes over. My fiance is most certainly going to be angry if I stick around. Because I've not been home all day. I got straight off the bus and came to the show. But it's been a lot of fun, even if we didn't have fun watching the show. It's always fun recapping it. It's always fun letting you know our thoughts. We will be back soon enough. Obviously, Reece, you are in charge of when that happens.
This weekend.
Oh.
2 shows this week, people.
We'll have to see what you're thinking is for the hours and whether I'm around or not.
TV review on Saturday, just general reviews, and then next week's the big one.
Right.
Next week.
We'll see what we can sort. You can always try and get someone else on if I'm not around.
If anyone wants to join for a TV review show, you're more than welcome. But next week it's me versus Eilidh in the head-to-head. So we might need somebody to be referee.
Yeah, so we're going to be drafting those rosters.
Thank
Right,
Daniel.
yeah, glad
Thank
that
you
you
so
enjoyed
much.
it. And yeah, we do this most weeks. It's called weekly. Reese is sort of selling you the sizzle over the steak there. It's when he can be bothered doing it, but it is most
Not,
weeks.
that's not it. But it is definitely weekly, and so much more is coming. And we have a head-to-head debate show coming up where it's me versus Eilidh. We're going to pick 25 male superstars, 10 female. It was from my idea, to be fair. I
Yeah,
just randomly put up as a community post.
And I'm here to boil piss.
And I'm going to win. But one thing is, well, confident. But we appreciate Daniel. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you to everyone that's commented tonight. It's been an amazing show.
Yeah, we've had a lovely little community in the chat, so we do love to see you, and we hope to see you again at the weekend.
Absolutely. You're
Catherine,
if
go
if
for
you
it.
want to join,
Jump in.
absolutely.
I will say though, if you've got to take my spot, Catherine, you've got to be an e-drone, because otherwise the balance is off. So I hope you can cosplay an e-drone for a day. But in any case, I'll head just now.
See, before you go, see, just for that alone, you get this. Comment of the night.
Oh no, grab the spray paint.
The title's applause for the night.
Grab the spray paint, quick. Right. But anyway, guys, if I am around for the weekend show, I'll catch you then. If not, I'll catch you on next week's show when my roster is going to absolutely batter yours, Reese. Anyway, catch you later.
Co-host who is away for the night. Guys, I'm going to go here as well. But thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the like button. Share this stream if you can so other people can watch it. And drop your comments as well at the end if you've got anything else you want us to do content-wise. We will be back. Well, we'll be back this weekend. Not tomorrow, be Saturday. And then we've got shows all the way through the week. But in the meantime, thank you for making my night very good after the week I've had. I appreciate it. I'll see you all later. Bye for now. Oh, and Daniel, please watch the outro. You're going to love this.